allegiance. The invocation tonight will be given by Mr. McInnes.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to be here today, taking care of school business. And Lord, thanks for the blessing of the children that you brought here today with their parents. Thank you for the surprise that they came. But it's an honor to take care of our school district. And thank you for this opportunity. All this.
During the course of the meeting, discussion of any item on the agenda should be held in a closed meeting. The board will conduct a closed meeting in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551, subchapters D and E, or Texas Government Code, Section 418. Before any closed meeting is convened, the presiding officer will publicly identify the section or sections of the act authorizing the closed meetings. Discussion will be limited to only items listed on the agenda. All final votes, action, or decisions will be taken in open meeting. At regular meetings, the board shall hear persons who desire to make comments to the board. Each speaker that is recognized shall limit their presentation to 3 minutes. If an issue mentioned is listed on this agenda, the board will defer discussion of the issue until the appropriate time during the meeting. Referring to specific district employees, with the exception of the superintendent and board members, please use the person's title only, not their name. Statements made during public comments are the opinions of the speaker, not necessarily those of the board or district staff. During public comment, please refrain from yelling, using profanity, interrupting other speakers, making personal attacks on district employees, or engaging in other uncivil conduct. Speakers can be held liable for their statements. Moving right along, we're on agenda item number 3, recognitions. We have some BCE STEM students to recognize.
Good evening, and Mr. McInnes, your remarks reminded me of what we shared with our students today. Didn't we, boys and girls, tell you how much our school board would love this, how much they love you and what they do every day, and how hard you work for them and for all of us. So we want to say thank you on behalf of the children. Thank you. So I want to acknowledge Dr. French. I'm so glad she's able to be here with us tonight, and Rebecca Cullums from our technology department. This is really their baby, their dream from about a year ago. They really wanted to start a STEM program at BCE. So we transitioned our Encore Little Red Writing into this STEM class. So we're thrilled that Monica Ashworth is on our campus this year, and Miss Phyllis Smith is one of our paraprofessionals who works in Miss Fall's class. And we're so happy to have them. They dearly love our children. So 840-ish students rotate each week, pre-K through second grade, through this STEM class. And it would just thrill your heart to get to be there, because we know what STEM does. It helps children to collaborate, to plan for their futures. It helps their creativity, their fine motor skills. For example, last marking period, a goal was to plan for skyscrapers to protect people, and how they would build a skyscraper to protect people. So they planned and collaborated and described the materials that they would use. So it's just, it's a beautiful thing in my opinion. I'm a little partial though. So I'll let you take it away. Miss Ashworth will introduce our children to you and then ask them some questions, and they'll be able to share with you.
Parents, if you'd like to step around back here and get a picture, feel free to do so.
Too.
Yes, come on.
We're those parents.
Paparazzi.
Y'all are the best. Come on up here.
So everything had to be even to hold the weight of the book. Great job, Marvin and Casey. I see y'all have something to do. You built a fort for people to come in and be safe from the weather. That is a great idea. Marvin, can you tell me how y'all created your fort? So by imagining it and planning it, so the engineering process, where you imagine it and you plan it and you build it. Awesome, great job, teams.
Great. Thank you. Y'all can step out.
Thank you, kids. This is our very, very favorite part, is when you come and show us what you've been learning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Moving right along to agenda item number 4 is consent action items. I don't think I need to. Feel free to go if you want.
Thank you
Don't
very
feel
much. Y'all have a
captive.
good night. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
I'll give you a few minutes to look over the consent action items and I'll seek a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? I think we're going to skip agenda item 5. Collins could not make it tonight. Agenda item 6 under finance, you have some information about donations?
Yes. Okay, on page 51 of your packet, A couple of superintendent-approved donations. Bridge City High School has received the following donations: 30 wooden chairs from Mr. Sean McFarland. These wooden chairs valued at $500 are donated to the CTE program for student projects. And then a $500 donation from Bridge City Rotary Club to benefit the BCHS Interact Club.
Then on page 54, we have some board-approved donations we need to talk about.
Yes, Bridge City High School Athletics has received a Sports Attack softball pitching machine donation valued at $3,499 from the Bridge City Cardinal Athletic Boosters to benefit the softball program.
A motion that we approve this donation.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Agenda item number 7, we have some policies to look at. Information item, the TASB policy update 118.
Yes, update 118. This is the first reading. It's just recommended that the board add, revise, and/or delete the policies as recommended by TASB and according to the instruction sheet for TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 118. That's at the back of this update. It's recommended that the board review the local policies as presented, and these local policies will be approved at a subsequent board meeting. We'll bring them back in December.
Have an action item to pick a OCAD Board of Directors election. Find on page 109.
So Bridge City ISD is entitled to 474 votes for the Orange County Appraisal District Board of Directors on the 22-23 official ballot. These votes must be cast by written resolution and submitted to the Orange County Appraisal District before November 30th. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt the attached resolution as presented and cast their votes for the Board of Directors of the Orange County Appraisal District as shown on the attached ballot. So you see the ballot, we have 474 votes. You guys can cast those how you do, how you want, and then we'll have the resolution.
A motion and a second. Discussion? Philip, or giving our 474 votes to Philip Welch, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Thank you. Agenda item number 8 is construction related. Consideration and possible approval of Claycomb Associates Design Development Package for the elementary addition.
Welcome, guys.
Well, thank you. Pleasure to be back again. That was fun to see some potential future colleagues up here. But we're gonna have to come back to the next job fair that's here within the district. Well, again, thank you for having us back. What we're going to present to you this evening is similar to what we've shown you in the past, but this represents the conclusion of the design development phase of the design process. And our hope is once we show you what we have tonight, that you will allow us to move forward into the construction documents phase of the process, which is basically the blueprints and preparing all of the information for the contractors to get ready to give you a price and prepare to build the addition. So we'll move through the slides here. Again, this is an aerial view of the elementary school here. We've seen this before, and we've determined that the best place to put our addition is off of the end of the kindergarten wing on the southeast side of the building, where we're adding our 6 pre-K classrooms here. As we do that, as we've discussed previously, what is now the pre-K wing over on the left-hand side of the image becomes the new flex wing within the school building. There are also some remodeled portions of the building that we're going to talk about in just a moment so that everybody understands what's going on. But we're going to zoom in here first to the new pre-K wing. You can see that the classrooms and their configurations are identical to the classrooms that you currently have within the building, where two classrooms back up to each other, which allows for individual restrooms and large storage closets within each classroom, as well as sinks and cabinets and casework within each room. You can see that we're connecting through to that existing kindergarten wing through one classroom. And as we do that to create the corridor, it creates a small breakout space that can be used for small group instruction, an office for an administration, or several different things. So it's a flexible space that we are able to create there. You can also see towards the bottom of the image, you might be able to see a little red laser there. We have our outdoor playground courtyard that's created as we add the addition to the building, which creates a secure and private location for those young pre-kindergartners to have an enclosed playground area. One of the things that will happen as we're adding on to this side of the building is we'll need to replace the existing bus canopy. So as you can see, that bus canopy runs right up against the new addition. And we'll see in some of the renderings how that works exactly. But that will also create or continue to create the sheltered and covered drop-off areas for the students to get inside the building without getting wet. We'll also need to recreate or rebuild the remainder of that canopy to reach over to the first grade wing as well, so that everyone, when they're outside transversing around the building, that they're kept out of the elements. It also gives us direct access from the exterior into the playground courtyard there, kind of towards the bottom center of the image there. You can see some gates that will allow people or maintenance equipment to get into that courtyard for maintenance and circulation purposes. This is an image that shows where within the existing building we're making renovations and remodeling efforts. Here on the what is now the pre-K wing, what becomes the flex wing, we are taking one of the classrooms there, subdividing it into 3 rooms that becomes a larger ESL classroom potentially, and then smaller LPC and dyslexia offices. Currently, those services are being held in larger classrooms throughout the building. So by giving them specialized spaces, we're able to open up other classroom spaces within the building. So it really increases the efficiency of the overall building. One of the other things that we're doing is your current waiting area for the nurse's office is being converted into 2 office spaces or small group instruction spaces. And then we're creating a new entry into the nurse's area. The last thing that we're going to do here is add restrooms to 4 existing classrooms within the building. That will make those spaces flexible to be used as pre-K and kindergarten spaces in the future or right now. One of the things that we learned as we were doing our code research is that the code that this building was originally designed and built under has some special considerations for this size of building. And so the way that they're shown right now, the restrooms are shown right now, we're going to need to reconfigure those just a little bit. What this image shows is a restroom, a small area that leads out to the window, and then a storage room. But given the limitations of the previous building code and the current building code that we're required to design under, we're not going to be able to include that storage room right there. So probably what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift the restrooms down to the location where the storage room is. Then we'll be able to keep the existing window that looks out into that courtyard. And that will occur at each one of those restroom spaces. But again, we get to keep the restrooms that we've asked for with the administration. They haven't been able to get back to me yet. Any questions on that particular item?
What are you gonna do with the space that originally, where the restrooms go? First box, where the air.
Right there. That will remain, we expect that to just remain open space as part of the outdoor courtyard area there.
But you haven't talked to the city yet to see.
That's correct. If the city will grant a variance, then we will continue to use that configuration that we show right now.
Is there, on the courtyard, is there playground equipment included in? Can you go back to the, showing the home? Everything on white new?
That's on the outside there.
Yeah, on the outside, on the white, court, where it says covered entry courtyard.
Yet the dashed line represents the canopies that are overhead. The white area is new flat work or concrete. And we'll see that a little bit better in just a few slides where we have our 3D renderings of that space. So here we have a few renderings of what it looks like. There's our new bus canopy that extends out. And I believe it comes out a little bit further than it does currently, which may afford an additional bus space worth of drop-offs. You can see that as we run up against the addition, this is where the new addition is right here. Then you can walk under this canopy. Then there's a canopy that connects back to the new addition as well as runs over to that first grade wing right there. Correct. So this area right here, this is our new addition. As you can see, the materials, the brick, the CMU block, the roofing material will all match what the school is right now. It should look like it's been there from the beginning. Here's, now you can see here, this is within our new playground courtyard. This image shows natural grass as the surface within there. But, you know, there's an option if the board desires to use a rubberized play surface or synthetic play surface within that space. Whatever works with y'all's desires there. And then here's an aerial view, so you can see again, we've got our long new bus drop-off canopy, replacement bus drop-off canopy. Here's our new addition that ties into the kindergarten wing here. Our protected courtyard between the three wings, and then our new connection over to that wing as well to keep the students and staff out of the elements there. And there's our front entry there into the new pre-K addition. So we'll have easy access from the parking areas, the bus drop-off areas. We can see on the left here, there's our gate that leads into the playground courtyard, and some very generous trees as well.
Some live oaks to get that, or something like that.
Yeah, they got a little excited when they
Not
saw
being the
those.
budget.
Here we've got a couple slides of 3D views of the classrooms themselves. So again, you can see the classrooms are back to back. They've got the restrooms kind of in the left-hand corner there. Furniture layouts again are movable. So those are really just examples, but you can see that there's space for the cabinets and casework, the storage closets, teachers' desks, small group instruction tables, short throw projectors on the walls, and ample space for whiteboards, tack boards, display space for teachers as they're putting up their lesson plans around the room and on the walls. And in addition to this PowerPoint presentation, we've got hard copy booklets that have all of these images that y'all can thumb through later on with additional information here. We'll pass those out when we're done with this portion of it. Each of the new classrooms gets a window to the outside, so there should be plenty of natural light for each of them. This is very similar to previous budgets that we've looked at for this project. As we've condensed our design time from what we showed you previously, we expect a little bit of cost savings based on the inflation factor. Instead of having the project go to bid in 6 months from now, we've reduced that by a month. So there's some potential cost savings by accelerating the design process. This summary is in your booklets as well, but you can see that over in that right-hand yellow box, our potential total cost for this project is $3.8 million. And then as we look at the overall schedule, you can see that that second red line from the left, that's where we're at today, November 15th. Our surveys and geotechnical reports, we actually just received a copy of the survey today from the surveying crew, and the geotechnical crew, they're moving fast. They did really well. Then the geotechnical company is expected to get out there before the Thanksgiving break and do their borings to get the soil results as well. But you can see then that after today, where we hope to move into the construction documents phase, then we've allotted 4 months for that construction documents process. We will release the construction documents. We're targeting to release those on March 15th. And then between March 15th and April 15th, that'll be the time that the contractors can put those drawings out on the streets, receive bids from their subcontractors, and hopefully have a guaranteed maximum price to present to the board on or about April 15th of next year. And then the construction cycle, we were pretty generous. I know as we've talked with the contractors, they've given some pretty aggressive dates and timelines for the construction. I'm still showing a little more conservative view, but if construction began at the beginning of next May of 22, a 14-month construction cycle, again, they've been more aggressive than that. But either way, they get us in before the beginning of school in 2023. So again, as we work with G&G closer to refine that to budget and schedule, we will be able to give you better information as we work with them on it. Any questions?
Very good.
We met with G&G last week sometime.
Mhm.
We all met administration from the elementary campus, G&G, Playcomb, and I we walked that campus and talked about the ideal way that we would want that done, to all those interior renovations being completed over the summer. And then when school starts next year, all we have is that back, the outside addition. And then tying that on when school is over next year, so we have that kindergarten classroom for the duration of the school year. They didn't have any problems with anything that we suggested.
We expect to, yes, because the construction crews will need to have access to get back into that space with their equipment and cranes and whatnot.
No, they're gonna extend it a little bit further than what it is now.
That's really good.
Well, thank you.
Hard work. General idea of what we're intending on specifying as far as products for the addition, but they're mimicked right off of what's in the existing now. And then at the very end is a memo from the related to this project. So we've got the whole package. I take it that we feel very confident we can get the bricks and things on the outside.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
I mean, they still make it, I guess.
We could use it to match the brick. If not, there's some tricks that we can do, such as inversing the colors, where the stripes are the light color and the build is the dark, and that'll throw your eye off just a little bit, but we don't have to do that.
That looks really good. I can't even tell that was original, somebody somehow.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Appreciate it. Very well done.
All right, thank you.
Our agenda item number 9, we have district facilities operations update by Mr. Joseph Reese.
We need to.
Oh, excuse me.
I se-
Yes, sir.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Sealed.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Based on what I've seen so far, I think you can do it.
Okay, really don't have a whole lot. The front of the competition gym, that work's been completed. It looks very good. Can't even tell hardly a color difference and matching it. They done great there. BCI roof, we've had some issues there. There's actually 3 different roofing companies working on it. They subbed it out. We're kind of in a he said, she said right now. They're trying to get to the bottom of why it's leaking. They have fixed one spot. I found out this evening right before I got on my bus that it's leaking in 2 more spots now that it wasn't before. So they may end up having to redo that valley again. They were on that this evening. So they've called in somebody higher up than him, the owner of the company that's working on the front, Mountain Roofing. He's supposed to be here tomorrow. So there's kind of some blame game going on there. Hopefully they'll get it resolved quickly. They've started tearing up tennis courts. It's looking great. They've hauled a lot of dirt over to our lot right there next to baseball, softball. And so that's really about all I have right now. Any questions?
I have a question. Okay, so the exterior lights at the intermediate, are they not working for a reason?
They should be.
I drove by there just a little bit and they weren't.
Probably the timer may not be on yet. I'll check it when I leave here.
They were off.
And it looks like you're retrofitting the buses with these little stop signs.
Yes, ma'am.
I got behind one today. It works fine.
Wonderful, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
We caught mine too.
Yes.
Practically caught mine.
I was very impressed with
Hey,
it.
that's the main thing right there. I watch them every day on Texas Avenue. I've got, 1, 2, 4 stops probably there, and just trying to get people to stop. I've almost been rear-ended there and everything. So anything that we can do to increase visibility, I appreciate you supporting us on it. Hands-on experience. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe.
Agenda item number 10, I think you'll find at each place the hires and new hires and resignations.
There's 1 new hire and 5 resignations. You guys can look through that.
Then agenda item number 11 is the superintendent's report.
Got a couple things. If you look at the enrollment, 3,095, so enrollment is up. If you look right underneath that at our total refined ADA at 2,843, we are falling a little bit short. We did receive some very good news last week that TEA, you remember our first 6 weeks attendance was poor, and it was poor all over the state. So what TEA has done is for this school year, they're going to take the average of our 4th, 5th, and 6th 6 weeks, and whatever that average is going to be our first 6 weeks. So we're talking with principals and we talked today at CORE about some things we can do to hopefully incentivize some really good attendance in the second semester. We're really not that far off considering how bad the first 6 weeks was, but that could really be a game changer if our attendance really picks up in the second semester. You can see down beneath upcoming activities, we have the BCI board lunch this Wednesday at 11 a.m. and then early dismissal this Friday. And then you can see some other things in November and December. There's a couple of, well, I already talked about the TEA attendance. There's one other piece that Coach and I have been working on, and actually we just got it secured right before I came in here. So, but our soccer team is going to play home games at West Orange. And so I'm finalizing some details. I would say it's complete, but there's going to be some cost involved with renting out their facility. We've got to order soccer goals and get them delivered over there. So we've got some work to do, but right now it has been okay that our home soccer games through about the first 2/3 of February would be at West Orange. So it's really good. They're on turf over there. So it's really the best, and being so close, it's best case scenario for our kids. And that's what we want. And we're hoping that if Hellas delivers like they have said, we'll actually get to play some of our soccer season on our home field. So been working on that for actually a little more than a week, probably. Just hadn't wanted to say anything in case it didn't come to fruition, but it has. So Coach, thanks for your work on that. I don't have anything else on my superintendent report.
Is there any chance that we could look at I've been told that the soccer season, the first 6 games or something. Is there any way we could look at maybe?
They're not. We have no. Well, no, we scheduled no preseason, no pre-district games, and no scrimmages at home on purpose. So until district, the district schedule is set by district, and we don't mess with that. But until district, we have 0 home games, and we designed it like that on purpose. So they may have I don't know, the first schedule that came out may have had it, but once Once the field kicked in, they may have gone back and amended that. I think it's a total of 8 home games, and or 8 nights. Some of those, I think 6 of those were boys and 2 of those were girls, but it's a total of 8 nights at West Orange. And if our field is complete before March, that's everything up until March.
Accommodating the track kids.
We have, Coach DeShazo has reached out to, so there's some things that we already have that we're going to be able to use that like our long jump, triple jump, the stuff behind the visiting bleachers. There are things we'll be able to use here. And then a lot of our track stuff we'll do here without a track, but then some relays, pole vault, some of that stuff. She's talked to some other local high schools that we can go to until ours is complete. But if ours is complete when they're saying mid-February, I think that's what, 2 weeks, Coach? I think DeShazo told me that was 2 weeks. It's it really is best case scenario because not everybody in Texas is building right now. So that's how we're able to get 2 or 3 crews on it and get it knocked out and get it finished by graduation. If in the summer, it would have added lots of time and lots of cost. So really did work out probably the best it could have.
Really no need to go into closed session tonight. Best I can tell, we're at the end of the agenda, so I'll take a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. We're adjourned.
Thank you, guys.